I've been drawing every day while working a demanding full-time job that is often much more than a 9 to 5. If you're tired after work and it feels impossible to stay consistent with your art, this video will show you the system that I use to draw daily, without relying on motivation, so that you can be consistent and progress faster even when life gets in the way. I'll walk you through the routine I use right now, starting with my daily Jung Gi practice, and break down the psychology behind why this approach works, how I made it effortless, and how you can adapt it to your own schedule, even if you only have 15 minutes a day. If you ever said, I just need to be more consistent, then this video is made for you. Watch it until the end, save it, rewatch it, because the problem is never really you. It's always the systems that surround you. And by the end of this video, you will have one that actually works. Okay, let's start. Most people struggle to stay consistent because they think that drawing is a new habit that they need to create. But if you have a full-time job, then you already have a consistent habit that you do 5 times a week. So instead of creating a new habit, you should anchor your drawing practice to work. For me, that's the window of time between when I wake up and when my girlfriend wakes up. Just before I make cappuccino for both of us. So I draw in the morning before work. But what about the evenings? Is that any different? Is it better to draw before or after work? To figure this out, I ran an experiment a couple of years ago. One sketchbook for 7 a.m. and another sketchbook for 7 p.m. Drawing 1 page a day in each one. The experiment was to see if it's true that you're more creative in the evenings, but instead I stumbled on a completely different discovery. After a few weeks, the 7 a.m. sketchbook was full, but the 7 p.m. one had loads of pages left to go. Why is that? I noticed that I was often missing weekends, but in both of them. But during weekdays, I was missing some evenings, but never missed a single morning. Simply put, life gets in the way, evenings are unpredictable. You stay late at work, maybe a friend hits you up, or maybe you're just tired. But by contrast, the mornings are quiet. Nothing has happened yet. You have more control. So now I always draw before work, but with one important constraint. I don't let the morning brain choose what I draw. This is super important, so listen up. Why can't your morning brain choose what to draw? Because decision making is expensive. The moment that you start deciding what to draw, you're already thinking of options, you're looking for inspiration, and you're kicking yourself out from that meditative state of execution. The enemy of consistency is ambiguity. The less you have to decide, the more likely you are to do it. That's why I don't leave the what up to the morning brain. The what is already decided for me before I sit down. I do that by setting up my sketchbooks as structured experiments that make it effortless to draw every day. Here I have my last 2 Jung Gi sketchbooks that I've set up this way, so I'm gonna show you what I mean by a structured experiment and why it makes it feel effortless to draw every day. So it works like this. You give your sketchbook one very specific question to answer. Then each page becomes a small data point towards figuring it out. So I made a Pinterest board with a bunch of his portrait sketches, all relatively simple close-ups. And every morning I just picked one and copied it. I wasn't trying to do it exactly the same. I wasn't trying to do a beautiful drawing. I was just trying to discover what particular features I really enjoyed in the way that Jung Gi does it. But this experiment was not perfectly set up. I made a mistake that you should avoid. Even though I had a curated board, I still had too many options. And often in the mornings I would waste time scrolling, trying to choose which one to draw. Some days my whole 15-minute slot was gone without even starting. So for the next sketchbook, I reduced the decision making even further. I picked just 2 of the faces I liked the most, which was actually the discovery of the first sketchbook, that I particularly liked the mouth and the eyes that are done in this kind of way. So the question for this experiment was whether I could learn how to make eyes and mouth like that, and whether I could use those for my own original character, which is a male character. To do that, I built a 4 days cycle around these 2 references. On day 1, I would copy the first face while looking at the reference. On day 2, I would draw it again, but looking as little as possible. and day 3 and 4 I would repeat it with the second reference, and then loop until the sketchbook is finished. I'm still going through it, but after a couple of cycles I could already draw both faces from memory, and so I started to try to transform those faces, to see if I could turn them into male characters while keeping the same design for the eyes and the mouth. So I started experimenting. The T is for transform. I discovered that reducing the space between the eyebrows and the eyes works to make the face more androgenic. It also helps to have a sharper jaw and hollower cheeks. But I could get away with this design of the eyes and the mouth that I really enjoyed. And now I almost never have to look at the reference anymore. I can do it all from memory. But most importantly, I'm never hesitating anymore. And that's what makes it so effortless. You sit down and you know exactly what to do. You just run the next iteration of the experiment. Each one is a bit different and interesting in its own way, so you never get bored. It's a new opportunity to explore, but without having that feeling of being stuck on what to do. And the most beautiful thing of running this as an experiment is that failure doesn't exist in this system. An experimental sketchbook removes the pressure to be good. In an experiment, both positive and negative results are equally valuable, as long as they help you inform an answer to your question. Structuring things as experiments has really been a game changer for me. I do it in many areas of my life. As part of my latest experiment, I'm doing a research to better understand who gets the most value from my videos and what they're actually aiming for. And if you are someone with a creative side hustle or maybe thinking of starting one, I would love to talk to you. I'm doing short 15 minutes call. I've got nothing to pitch. I'm just asking questions. It's been really the best way to make this a two-way thing and to shape the future of this channel. So I've left a link to my calendar in the description box and in the pinned comments as well. So just grab a time that works for you and I hope to see you there or in the next video. Ciao!